This peach pie is the only recipe I've ever developed that didn't need any changes or adjustments after multiple rounds of testing. The cinnamon and nutmeg add just enough warmth to make it feel like a comfort food hug without overpowering the flavor of the peaches. It's thickened with cornstarch, and the recipe accommodates adjusting the amount of sugar based on the ripeness of the fruit and your own personal preference. Oh, and don't forget 2 tablespoons of fresh orange juice. I didn't have any lemons when I first made this recipe, but found the oranges really pulled forward that bright, fresh flavor of the beautiful summer peaches. These were really juicy peaches and just barely fit in the pie dish, but it'll be fine. You know, where most people actually run into issues with pie making is by not baking them long enough, and that causes the filling to be runny when you cut into them. For fruit pies, they're done when you can see them bubbling in the very center of the pie, and this usually takes at least an hour. Dotting with a tablespoon of butter before putting on the top crust also helps thicken the filling. Now, here we are going to demystify the lattice top. This diamond pattern actually takes 1.5 recipes for pie dough, which worked out well because I already had an extra crust in the freezer. 2 of the rounds have been cut into 1-inch wide strips that are 11 inches long, and I'll be posting a separate video on how to prepare those. But here I put half the strips right next to each other going one direction. This is a pretty tight weave, which is why it takes extra pie dough, but the method is the same with any type of lattice top. And don't worry if something breaks, you can always patch it back together. Now, going in the other direction, it's actually easier to start in the middle. And then you just weave over, under, and then on the next one, do the opposite. So under, over. And if you want to do this diamond pattern, notice that these are arranged at a bias as opposed to 90-degree right angles. This is a gift for my friend Laura, who recently mentioned to me how much she loves peach pie. So I can't wait to surprise her with this when we see each other this weekend. At this point, the dough is pretty warm, so it's going to go in the freezer for about 5 or 10 minutes just to firm up. I like to do this part on a cake turner. You want to press around the edges to seal the top and bottom crust together, and then with a clean pair of scissors, cut off the excess, leaving a 1-inch overhang. Although since this pie won't have a decorative crimp, I only left half an inch. Once you've trimmed away all the excess, you want to take the overhang and tuck it underneath itself. This prevents the juices from leaking out of the seam between the top and bottom crust. This is going to go back in the freezer for 15 to 20 minutes. A cold pie is a flaky pie. A little egg wash, which is 1 egg mixed with a tablespoon of cream, and I like to sprinkle my pies with some coarse sugar before baking. This one took 1 hour and 15 minutes, and I have a feeling Laura's not going to be too disappointed when she gets this. The recipe is down below, and don't forget to hit that follow button for more pie baking tips.